Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We have people attending from all over the globe. So welcome to this webinar session today, featuring ServiceNow and Plat4mation. Over the course of the next 45 minutes or thereabouts, we're going to be sharing tips and best practices, from real-world examples of how you can implement GenAI seamlessly on your ServiceNow platform and begin to realize the benefits of GenAI. Some of you might have experiences with implementing GenAI, Now Assist as we call it, on the ServiceNow platform. Some of you might be new to that topic. We will try as much as possible to ensure that we carry along during this webinar. If you have any questions throughout this session, please feel free to use the chat, and we will do our best to answer them at the end of the webinar. All right, before we get started, I'm obligated to mention that during this webinar, we will be talking about some items on the roadmap. We call them forward-looking statements. These are about capabilities that are planned to be released in future. Please do not make any financial or purchasing decisions based on the information you hear today. ServiceNow reserves the right to make any changes to its roadmap if other priorities come up. All right, so today we have 3 speakers, presenters, and we would like to introduce them before we go into the content. I will start. My name is Dele. I've been at ServiceNow for 4 years. Before then, I used to be a ServiceNow customer. And because I love customers so much, I am now the Director of AI Customer Engagements. I lead a team of AI Solution Managers and AI Engagement Managers who work with early adopters of new AI products and technologies that we ship out. So let's get to meet Maud.
Thank you, Dele. Welcome, everybody. I'm Maud. I'm the GenAI capability lead here at Plat4mation, working for almost more than 5 years here, working on a lot of different GenAI projects together with Willem, and also growing the capability. And Willem, you can go next.
Yes, thank you, Maud. I'm Willem Zeiler. I'm a certified master architect, 5 times MVP. And what I do with AI, in addition to what Maud already mentioned, is I'm also currently training for a marathon that we're running next year with AI. So the schedule, the tips, the technique coaching, everything with AI.
Thanks, Maud and Willem. Wow, 5 times MVP and also a certified master architect. Your CV looks scary already. I'm just glad that I'm speaking first before you, because I wonder what I'll say if you were to speak first. All right, so let's go through some content about what Now Assist is, what generative AI on the ServiceNow platform can do for you. Business transformation, IT transformation, these are terms and things that we've been implemented in the last, few decades, right? So we've had it for a long time where businesses are being transformed. But what we see now is that our employees across different organizations are now beginning to bring AI tools to work, right? AI tools that they use at home, they're bringing into the workplace. So tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and so on. And these are raising serious concerns about data sharing and governance. Your employees, for instance, want smarter systems that can remove friction, right, and support them in the routine tasks that they handle day to day. Your human agents on the service desk, whether on the IT side or customer service side or HR side, also are looking for tools that can help them to speed up the way and the rate at which they resolve issues that come to them on a day-to-day basis. Your developers are also asking for tools that can help them improve their productivity, right? Such that they can create more applications, more functionality than they can, they can do without any AI tools. So with that, we're saying that business transformation that has always been there can now be powered and made to go a lot faster, streamline the process with AI, right? And that is what the ServiceNow platform is here to help you do and support you with as you move along in your journey. The good thing about it is that we already have examples of customers who are realizing value from generative AI, from Now Assist, right? These are some examples that you can see on the slide. Coursera, for instance, has reported that 18% reduction in the incidents that have been escalated to the next level. So meaning that fewer incidents need to be escalated to level 2, level 3, which translates to lower support costs. Trimedics has been able to demonstrate that the developer productivity has improved using Now Assist. British Telecom has also improved their mean time to resolve, MTTR, by 33%. USI, which is an insurance business in the US, within 1 month of going live with incident summarization, we're able to show that they are saving 52% of their agent hours, right? Just because of that one skill that they enabled. At Teleperformance, for their major incidents, they're seeing that they're able to save between 15 to 25 minutes, right? In the lead time to resolve major incidents. So these are testaments to the value that customers and organizations are already reaping with the implementation of Now Assist, with the implementation of generative AI. You might ask, okay, so how do we get started, right? Our best guidance that we provide is that you start by putting in place a strategy, right? And that strategy should have 3 main components, right? First of all, you need to identify and pick the right use cases. What problems are you trying to solve? What does your business need? How can AI improve the work of your people? Secondly, how do you manage the AI that you implement, right? Talking about AI governance. Thirdly, you need to make a decision whether to build or to buy, right? And in some cases, you might have to do both, right? But you need to use the information you have on your use cases and how you want to govern to make those decisions, and also look at the pros and cons of building versus buying. Okay, we'll go through a few examples on how we try to guide customers in making the decision on setting up their AI strategy. So first of all, identifying the right use cases. What we say is analyze your business operations, right? From your front office operations such as customer service, sales engagement, sales enablement, web design, UX design, and so on, right? All the way to your back office, right? Manufacturing, legal, data security, and so on. And identify the areas where you're currently not performing at the expected level, where you see the opportunities to improve your efficiency and effectiveness, and also to improve the return on investment. So it's very key to identify the right use cases. Some organizations just start implementing GenAI and start implementing all sorts of tools without thinking about which use cases will deliver the most value to you at the end of the day. Maud and William will go through a few examples of how they guide customers in this approach also. All right? So number 1, identify the right use cases. Secondly, decide on how to use generative AI. Should you build or should you buy? Right? And what we propose is that you use these 4 components, which are the critical components of any GenAI framework, to make that decision on whether to build or to buy. First of all, look at your data, right? Will you manage and process your business data in-house, or will you outsource it? The GenAI models you use, are you going to use open source models? Are you going to use third-party models? Are you going to use proprietary models, right? You need to understand and make that decision on that item. which platform are you going to use, right? Are you going to incorporate GenAI into an existing platform, or are you going to build a completely new platform for your GenAI use cases? And lastly, also consider the kind of experience that you want to deliver to your stakeholders, to your end users, to your developers, to your customers, whoever they are. It's important to put that into consideration in order to make that decision. Some organizations prefer to go the route of building, right? There's nothing wrong in doing that. However, you need to be conscious of the fact that it's a time and cost-intensive exercise to build your own generative AI solutions, right? You need to prepare the data, you need to choose the model, you need to train the model, you need to fine-tune the model, right? And then you need to employ people to build the capability. It's difficult to find the right skill set. It's difficult to find the right resources out there, right? A lot of organizations are looking for skilled people, and it takes a long time to find skilled people, right? So those are the things you need to put into consideration. Are you ready to wait months and years before you can complete the build of your GenAI solution? Or do you want to shorten the time by using a different alternative approach? And it doesn't end there, right? Once you've built the models and your capabilities, you need to maintain and govern them, right? Which also takes a lot of effort and time. At the end of the day, you also need to consider security and compliance, right? You need to make sure that the solutions you build do not provide data leaks. You don't have data oversharing. You don't have incompliant usage, right? So these are things that you need to put into consideration when you make the decision to build your own generative AI solution. Alternatively, what we see is that buying a solution can get you the return on investment you're seeking a lot faster. In 3 steps, for instance, on the ServiceNow platform, you can be live. Install Now Assist, configure Now Assist, and deploy it on the workflow, right? Whether it's an ITSM workflow or a HR workflow or a customer service workflow, legal workflow, whichever workflow it is. It's as simple as that. And once you turn it on, you have out-of-the-box capabilities such as incident and case summarization, sensitivity detection, app generation, KB article generation, and so many more, right? Right now, we have hundreds of out-of-the-box skills that you will already be able to use as soon as you turn on Now Assist on your instance. Here you also see a quote from one of our customers, Coursera, Dala Wolf, who said that it took under 20 minutes, right, for them to turn on the Now Assist powered virtual agent. For those of you who have implemented virtual agent and chatbot solutions in the past, when we had NLU, it traditionally used to take months and sometimes even years to complete a virtual agent project, right? Now we can get that done in days and not months, not years as we used to, by simply using an approach such as buying rather than building it from scratch. So what we recommend at ServiceNow is to buy and then build. As soon as you buy, you're able to activate those skills across IT, HR, and other workflows, right? You can start using them. If you want to make changes to the out-of-box skills, you can configure the out-of-box skills using the prompt management tools that we have out of the box. And only in situations where you have a unique use case, right, which is not met by any of the out-of-box skills, then you can create a net new skill or an AI agent. And we'll get to see a few examples of that in the upcoming section from Plat4mation. The last point to consider, right, in your AI strategy is about AI governance. How do you ensure that the solutions you build meet the requirements for responsible AI, meet the requirements for legal and regulatory authorities like the EU AI Act and so many more, In ServiceNow, for the products that we build, right, for our AI development process, we consider 4 main pillars. We incorporate in every product that we build elements of these 4 main pillars. 1, the products need to be human-centered, meaning that we need to provide clear guidance on AI usage, when to use AI, when not to use the AI, how to use it well, right? Inclusivity is also considered, right, to ensure that we don't introduce bias of any nature. We also have the data sets that are used to reflect diversity to ensure that at the end of the day, it does not provide wrong outputs. Transparency is also key. And we always ensure that any product that we release, we have the right product documentation and model cards that tell you exactly what are the benefits of using the model, how the model was built, how it was tuned, how it was trained, what data was used for training, right? And what are the limitations of the AI products. Accountability is the 4th pillar, where we ensure that the oversight structures are built into the products to ensure that you can govern them. You can control who uses each application. You can control how well, in what workflows they use, and how you can also monitor through the dashboards and analytics, how everyone is using them, how different departments are using them, and what value they're getting from the AI products that you've implemented. So for us, this is core to the AI products that we release, and this is built into every AI product that goes out from the ServiceNow platform. We say AI is only as intelligent as the platform it runs on. And what does this mean exactly? If you have a platform that doesn't have data, then it's very hard for that platform to provide you intelligent AI. And that is one of the main benefits of ServiceNow, right? And that is one of the strengths of the platform and the AI agents that we have released, right? So we have AI agents in the area of IT, customer relationship management, application development, human resource, security and risk, and so many more areas, right? So we've built this in using a framework, right, that leverages the platform, your instance data, which could be in a ServiceNow cloud or Azure cloud, Google cloud, AWS cloud, right? Some of you are not aware, you do have the option now to host your ServiceNow data with the hyperscalers. Please reach out to your account team if you want to know more about that. But aside from that infrastructure where your ServiceNow instance sits, we know that you also have hundreds of different business applications and third-party solutions within your organization. SAP systems, Microsoft solutions, Workday systems, name it. All sorts of different business applications are being used by different business units in your organization. With what we've now introduced as Workflow Data Fabric, we have the ability to connect the ServiceNow instance to those third-party systems, right? To leverage the combined data you have in ServiceNow and those third-party systems to enable the workflows, right? To enable your business transformation. And with that, we're now able to release products to provide automation, to provide analytics, and to provide agentic workflows, okay? Using the AI tools, AI Agent Studio, the Control Tower, and also the models, right? And when we talk about models, it could be our models, it could be your models, it could be any model. What we've tried to do is to ensure that we provide you the flexibility without any kind of complexity. So if for one use case, you might decide that the ServiceNow model works better, because the ServiceNow model is a domain-specific model trained on ServiceNow data, so it understands ServiceNow context and solutions better than most other solutions or most other models out there. But you also have the possibility to use any of your third-party models, Azure OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, but any one of them, right? Depending on the use case. And what we've done on the platform is provide the ability for you to test your use cases, to identify and be able to evaluate if a model delivers the quality that you're looking for that use case or not, right? And you can test out different models and decide on which model provides you the best quality, the best performance, right, and the best results. So that's the flexibility that we provide on the ServiceNow platform. Now, lastly, before I hand it over to Maud to talk about their approach to supporting customers to ensure that customers can go live speedily with Now Assist, enterprise search is also something that we're making sure that we deliver the best products to you out there to meet your needs. So whether it's for your end users, your requesters who are doing a search in ServiceNow, who need content that is sitting in a different third-party system, we have connectors now available to those third-party systems. And you can see what has been released already in Q1. So we have SharePoint Online, Confluence Cloud already released in Q1. In Q2, we'll be extending this further, by bringing in other connectors to be able to do web crawling, right, and connect to other third-party systems. Now, this search could also be used by your fulfillers, your agents, right? So we have a feature called Q&A in the Now Assist panel, right, which is designed for fulfillers to be able to search while they're trying to resolve an incident, for instance, be able to search content from different sources, right, that can help them to solve the incident that they're handling in ServiceNow. So the Enterprise Search Connector is supposed to provide that capability. It will be extended in future years with more solutions. You also have the possibility to request a specific third-party system to be added to the roadmap. So please consult your account team if there's a third-party system that you don't see, but is critical to your use case, right? We either will look at options to provide you a workaround for now, or that might also lead to reprioritization of the roadmap to ensure that we can meet your needs and deliver the use cases that you have lined up for your enterprise. All right, so let's go over to Maud, who will talk about Plat4mation and what they are doing in this space of generative AI using Now Assist.
Thank you, Della. I will start with a very brief introduction about Plat4mation. It's a pure play ServiceNow elite partner. We were founded in 2013, and we are implementing all the different modules in ServiceNow. We have right now offices in 2 different countries. Willem and I are both located in the Netherlands, and we make workflow, and we have a strong focus on all the AI capabilities available in the ServiceNow platform. And this part of the presentation, we will focus on our lessons learned so far and how to fast track your AI journey. If you're following the right steps, you can start really fast with the first use cases and expand it later, but we will come back to that later in this presentation. And AI is changing the enterprise, right? And we are here to help you in this journey. And we are always taking into account 3 pillars: the data foundation. We will also come back to that later in this presentation. Your GenAI readiness. We always start with the readiness assessment, and then the GenAI realization. We want to be the #1 global Now Assist implementation partner of ServiceNow. We are already really working closely together. We did 30+ Now Assist implementations together with ServiceNow. We have a big team of Now Assist trained people. We're also building AI agents already. We have more than 25 people here in Plat4mation who can do that. And there are already 2 custom skills available in the ServiceNow store, but we are also building a lot of new agents, and we already built like 10 agents so far. And 15% of the decisions by 2028 will be made by agentic AI, which is a huge difference compared to 2024 when there was no agentic AI available. So that will be a big change, and we will try to help you in reaching that change. And now Willem will going to talk about the data foundation and then in the next slide.
Yes, thank you, Maud. So when we talk about data, the data foundation is very important. But as many of you know, there's a lot of data in an organization. And with GenAI, also unstructured data becomes available to us to handle in our workflows. So what we advise is think on the right side on the acting on your data first. What data do we need to take proper actions? And maybe that's not the perfect action yet, but it's a good action to start with. And that means that we understand what data is needed for that specific use case, for that flow or action, and we can connect the systems or find the information that it needs, the AI agent needs to make a decision or to take action. That allows you to, in parallel, still improve your data, go to one single data model, expand on that, but it also means you don't have to boil the ocean before you can start leveraging AI. So act first, and then, of course, connect and understand that data. That's the biggest lessons learned. Don't try to boil the ocean. And if we look at how we approach a project, Maud already mentioned it, it is about organizational and technical readiness. So those use cases, don't only think about the ROI, but also think about the other success factors. Is this something we can successfully implement? Are the people ready in that department or in that process? Do we have technical depth that is holding us back? Dele mentioned the build versus buy. It's always a combination of buying elements and then also building where it's fitting. Evaluating that properly gives you the right sort of backlog of use cases that lend themselves both in the ROI field as well as the chance of success. If you identify those successful or possible successful use cases, then it's of course finding the right plan. So these an approach that is based upon the technical depth assessment that we also have. What do we need to clean up, and what technical depth is not holding us back to move further on this topic? So 4 steps sounds easy, and it can be very quick, of course, depending on how big the use case is. And the most important thing, it's also highlighted here in the outcomes on the right, is to get started. Don't make it too big. Take the first step already on Monday, really getting quickly to the first success, and that will allow you to move further and further.
Yes, and there are a lot of intelligence features already available in the platform, not only AI focused, but there's a lot available, and that's why we created a now intelligence feature mapping. On the left top, it all starts with analytics. Where do you want to improve, and where do you want to use AI and GenAI? Here you have a combination of performance analytics and reporting, which is coming together in platform analytics. And there you can see already some KPIs and bottlenecks in your system. Is your MTTR too high? Maybe we can improve that with all the AI features available. On the left bottom, you see the process mining. It's a really nice feature where you can shine a light on your actual behavior instead of the intended behavior. You can see a lot of bottlenecks, for example, ping-ponging between different assignment groups. It really gives you a lot of insights when you're using process mining, and it's an add-on on the performance analytics, what you maybe already use. Of course, if already a few years ago, there were a lot of AI features available in the platform, what was called predictive intelligence, or which is called predictive intelligence. And you were able to cluster, to find similar tickets, classification, which is predicting a field, for example, the service field based on your short description or any other field, and regression. That's the same as classification, predicting a field, but then a numeric field. But a lot of these AI features will be taken over by GenAI, and Willem will talk about more about the GenAI features.
Yeah, so Dele also mentioned that GenAI, ServiceNow calls these capabilities, the generative AI capabilities, they are bundled in Now Assist or the Pro Plus or Enterprise Plus packages. And what we see in there in the GenAI capabilities is, as ServiceNow calls them all AI agents, and you have the simple AI agents and the more advanced. The more advanced, the more autonomous. They can operate in more complex environments. adapt to those environments and make complex decisions, we call that more agentic AI. And it's a scale depending on how advanced that AI agent should be. And the way we approach it, I mentioned it before, you can start with a simple AI agent and train them all the way to those agentic use cases. As Dele also mentioned, that can be using the Now LLM, ServiceNow's own large language model, or any other model that you can connect onto it. And just like your regular colleagues, an AI agent also needs data. So for that, we can leverage Workflow Data Fabric in the purple box, where we have spokes that allows us to easily integrate with other systems. For an example, an average HR department has over 50 different tools. So adding an AI agent to those live agents, they need to connect to some of those systems at least, right? So spokes, we have robotic process automation for systems that may not have modern ways of integrating. And then, of course, we have a more modern way of integrating called APIs. So those combined allows us to connect the data. But as I mentioned before, understanding that data and taking action is also an important part. And that's also where the knowledge graph will connect into. And Maud will tell us more on that later on.
Yes, indeed. And also in the virtual agent, Dale already mentioned it briefly. It saves a lot of time if you are setting up the virtual agent with GenAI compared to what it was before with natural language understanding. And we also saw that for quite a few implementations already. And by combining all these intelligence features, you can reach that ultimate goal of service improvements and automation. Hey, if you're using only summarization, maybe you will not reach that ultimate goal. But if you combine all the features that are already available, maybe you can reach it. And that's a combination of GenAI supported knowledge base articles, a combination of a summarization, of a resolution notes generation, but also of building custom AI agents. And the goal is that to shift left, shift down. We also added here the shift up. So you really want to lower the L3, level 3 incidents, to higher the number of L1 incidents, or even prevent these numbers and increase the self-service. Now, like I already mentioned in the beginning, we did like 25 plus or 30 plus already implementations together with ServiceNow. And there are some lessons learned, what you see here on the left side. So it's really important to check the AI sentiment at the customer. Is the customer willing to use AI and GenAI, and to get the correct buy-in from those stakeholders? Of course, we always start with some technical prerequisites. There are always some checks that we need to do in the instance to see if your instance is GenAI ready. Think of small things like a custom widget on the portal, which is not going to work together with Now Assist. So we are all doing those small technical prerequisite checks in your system. We already mentioned it in the beginning, start with small use cases and with a small group of users, and then scale later. We saw that it really helped to create that enthusiasm within a small group, that they can share their excitement to the rest of the team or to the rest of the company, and then scale it later. Data quality is still key. And we also see that it helps a lot to establish an AI capability within your company and to build an AI roadmap. And of course, we can help with setting up that AI roadmap. The last lessons learned is to define the metrics and track the value, track the usage. Is it helpful to use all those GenAI features, and what does it do with your process? On the right side, we already mentioned it in the previous slide that you have a simple AI agents and more advanced AI agents. Simple AI agents, they are all available out of the box. Think of instant summarization, the AI search genius results, that if you search for something in the portal, that you already get a summary of the most relevant knowledge article, but also for creation, for flow generation, app generation, report generation. That's all out of the box available and called simple AI agents. Some of them are also advanced AI agents. Some of them are also out of the box available, but we are also building advanced AI agents. For example, the customer relationship tracker, which is a CSM use case where we track the relationship between an agent and a customer, and we can track if the relationship is going up or if the relationship is going down. For example, automated root cause identification, we worked on it. We worked on an issue image reader that you can make a screenshot of your issue, for example, on your laptop, that you can send it to an external large language model, and then it will send back with already a potential resolution. But we also come back to the more use cases later in this presentation.
Yeah, so what's behind those AI agents? There's the architecture. On the left side, it starts with the trigger. So what triggers these AI agents to start working? And that can be by that conversation panel. That's a button you press and you start chatting with the AI agent, or it can be a database trigger. So a record is saved or updated, then the AI agent can take actions. And of course, what we also see in practice, and that's what we like as techies, is how can you combine those triggers in a smart way to, for example, make it more proactive on a schedule basis. Maybe weekly we want to run some checks, have the AI agent involved. One of the use cases in the OT, the manufacturing domain, that it proactively checks certain records. How do we do that? There's an orchestration involved, and the way I like to explain this is basically the team manager that makes sure that the communication in the team is transparent. So things that we decide, that we have looked at, are shared. That's the chain of thought. And it will do some reflection. So it will check back, hey, the answer that I get from one AI agent, does that make sense? There's some grounding built in, so it will do some fact checking. That's basically the team manager. And that has a lot of tools to its to leverage. We have the context, we have short-term memory, and the way I explain this is if you have ever been, Knowledge 25 is coming up, if you ever been to Knowledge, you meet a lot of people. In the short term, you might remember the name, but then you meet them next year, and then it's really up to that long-term memory, right? Do you still remember the names? Do you recognize the faces? So the difference between short-term and long-term, when we talk about large language models, is really short-term is this conversation, and long-term is on multiple conversations. And we can enrich that with knowledge. That's already the data connection that we saw, right? Your organizational data. So we have conversational context and organizational context that the orchestrator can use. We said it's all about action. So that is where the power of the platform really comes into play. Your regular agents already know that they can leverage the platform. AI agents can take actions with flows, subflows, and interactions with the system. So creating records, saving records, but also informing and proactively starting a conversation with a live agent as well, if needed, right? We say in the future, a lot of decisions will be made by AI, but there might be use cases where you still want to have a human in the loop that ultimately gets an advice, but takes the decision. So this combination, and you see on the right, using the Now LLM or again, other large language models, allows for a safe and powerful way integrated with the platform. So really nice architecture that encompasses a lot of elements that are out there.
Yes, and what we want to do as an approach, especially in the near future, is that we are going to do a deep dive into one of your processes. For example, an instant process, we want to see with performance analytics, what can you improve and where are your bottlenecks? That's what we call the value drivers. What do you want as a business outcome, and on which KPIs do you want to focus? To make sure that, and to define a job to be done. What can we replace? Which human task can we replace by an AI agent task? And to make sure to enable the AI agents in the right way, we need to make sure that all the information is available for that specific AI agent. And that's where the knowledge graph comes in. So all the relational information needs to be available. For example, about Willem, he has an issue with his car. We need to know what type of car is he driving. For example, Kia, for how long does he has the car? 2 years. He drove like 60K kilometers with the car. So all those relational information needs to be available for the AI agent to solve the issue. We already mentioned that in the beginning, It's not needed anymore that all that information is available with ServiceNow, but we can connect with external data sources and with Workflow Data Fabric to zero copy that information, but then it's not stored in ServiceNow.
So with all this information, what can we practically do? We've built some of our own AI agents and implemented a lot of these standard capabilities. Maud already mentioned sentiment analysis. It allows agents already to get better insights on what actions they could take on interacting with a customer, where perfection wasn't the goal, right? We set this up as an experiment with the customer. They didn't have all the systems connected, their ERP system maybe not. There are a lot of other variables that we could introduce in this analysis. But what we said, let's start small with what we can already do with the data that's on the platform. And the customer and even us were surprised on the effectiveness of already with quite a bit of data, but there's way more that we can integrate. It was already effectively assisting live agents. So they already saw the benefits with not even the maximum data. What we also have is the image reader, and we use that for our own internal instance as well, where you can take a screenshot, and we use OpenAI image endpoint to analyze the data and connect that to other AI agents to advise us and take actions, maybe point you towards the right catalog item, for example. So these are just a few. For OT, we also have an integration with the operating technology. So when a machine detects also with AI that, for example, a ball bearing is taking a lot of load, it's wearing down, before the machine totally breaks down, it triggers a case into ServiceNow to take action, and proactively it interacts with the ERP system, SAP in this case, to check for stock for replacement parts. And if it's not there, the AI agent can say, hey, do you want me to order this for you? And before the machine breaks down, you're able to replace it. We have the maintenance planning in ServiceNow. So why not schedule that maintenance already? We have the part, we have the people, and we can do the maintenance. So these are some use cases, but we have many, many more if you're interested.
Yes, thank you, Willem. And for last slide, we divided our offerings in 5 different ones. I will quickly go through them. So we have the orientation pack. If you really want, if you want to get some inspiration, if you want to define use cases together with us, if you want to define a roadmap, we will do that in the orientation pack. The Now Assist enablement pack really focus on the out-of-the-box implementation features. So think of summarization, knowledge article generation, in the Now Assist in the AI search, in the virtual agent, etc. If we want to do a deep dive into one of your processes and see which human task we can replace by any AI agent task, we will focus that in the GenAI business process automation offering. If we need to build a new agent or a new agentic AI workflow, we will do that in a tailored agentic AI pack. It's more like a hackathon way of working. And of course, it's also important with the new control tower to set up the GenAI governance within your company. And that's the last offering that we have. If you want to have more information, please contact us and we can help you. And I think we have some time to do a Q&A. Let's see if there are some questions.
Yeah, there are very good questions from the audience. What would you say is holding some of the organizations, customers you're working with, what is holding them back from achieving rapid value from GenAI?
Yeah, what we see regularly, and that's also what we try to make clear in this presentation, is don't strive for perfection. Treat your AI agents like humans. Have the conversation about what they can do now for your organization quickly and what they should be able to do tomorrow. It's not something Some of the skills you can turn on, of course, start leveraging, but some of the things you can say, hey, we start with a smaller use case, and then we can expand on it. We integrate more data sources. We make sure the data in the sources is correct, etc., etc. Don't start with the big, chunky things. There's a lot of ROI already in starting simple.
Very good. Makes sense. So look for the low-hanging fruit. Look for the simple, small use cases and scale. Great. What would you say is the critical success factor, right, for GenAI implementations?
Yeah, so I think to start with is to create that GenAI sentiment within your company, create excitement within your team, and see where you can leverage indeed a low-hanging fruit. And if you're using one of the GenAI features or skills within a small group, also create that excitement to the rest of your team or to the rest of the company. And Willem, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think what helps us in the conversation is it is something that you need to think about the people also that you would leave behind. If we look at many organizations, Dele also mentioned that people will use AI at home, but some of the people in your organization might not, right? So the technical gap between the tech savvy and people using AI and that don't use it will become bigger and bigger. So the chances of success is really taking the people into account. It's the classic people, process, technology, data, but really focusing on the people, taking them with you on that AI train that we like to talk about.
So there is a question on predictive intelligence, right? I know this is one of Maud's favorite topics. Is there anything you see in the GenAI space that might replace predictive intelligence as a skill?
Yeah, I also already saw that question. That's a good question. I worked with Delle before with predictive intelligence. But I think, for example, with if you want to find similar tickets, right? If I'm a human agent, I'm working on a ticket, I want to see if there were some similar tickets already solved in the past, which can help me with solving my current ticket. And I think there is a similarity model available with predictive intelligence. But with retrieval augmented generation, there's a lot more possible. So then it's the GenAI algorithms are taking more over finding similar tickets compared to what was able with AI. So those type of small things, GenAI will do better, maybe, compared to what was already existing within predictive intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe to add, in predictive intelligence models, ServiceNow in the background also uses AI or GenAI to leverage that. So the predictive intelligence is also still improving. So that's also why we have that overview slide that still includes predictive intelligence, because it's also a combination of which use case do we want to have with predictive intelligence and which ones with the Now Assist or GenAI. Quick tip is if you scan this QR code, you can subscribe to a newsletter. So maybe some of those questions are already answered there. We have blog posts, we have white papers, and that newsletter will subscribe you to everything. And we even have a quick tip every newsletter that we send out. And the most recent ones, of course, include some AI tips as well.
All right. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar today. I hope you learned one or two things. Please join us in other webinars on this topic to learn more. And if you do have specific questions, specific areas that you like to hear more about, feel free to send it through your ServiceNow representative. And we surely will organize a webinar to look into those topics. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.